This will be fun. There's no better thing to do than keep theorizing between chapters about all the deep meanings and possible endings for this fascinating story. By the way, before I start this, manga spoilers, of course. I'll be talking not just until the end of the anime chapter 90, I'll be talking chapter 91 forward. So until, of course, chapter 132, which was the last chapter since the date of this recording. So I'm gonna go through a bunch of crazy theories here, some completely mine and some pieced together over multiple theories floating around the internet over all these months and some even years. Some might be completely 100% insane, some might actually make some sense, little sense, I think. Also, they all might be connected somehow, or not. Or maybe not. Who knows? Let's see. Okay. First theory. Ymir tricked Eren and has been trying to trick Fritz's inheritors of the founder for almost 2000 years. Now this is one of my favorites. Ymir has been working on Eren's mind since he was a child, manipulating him through his dreams and memories of the future to get him to the point of freeing her and her colossals. Also, she manipulated Karl Fritz, the 145th king, into building the wall titans for her. Paths is her place. She can do whatever she wants there and appear to people the best way it will work for her to make them do what she needs. The Fritz family kept her at bay for almost 2000 years, but she's been working on Eren's mind since he was a child, knowing he would be the next inheritor so she could manipulate him to finally do what she wanted. The way she appears to Zeke, for instance. Also, the first time we officially see her, she heals him and helps him as a servant, feeding his ego and his royalty ideals and all that. Now, with Eren, she appears broken and in need of help, making him think he's the one in control. And for both of them, she appears as a child. Now, there could be two reasons for that, considering how Armin saw Eren as a young kid in chapter 131. One, that's how she sees herself and wants to show herself in that moment. Or, that's how they see her. Both instances are of course influenced by her behavior towards the Jaeger brothers. Again, in the Armin situation, it was either he sees Eren as a kid still, or Eren wanted him to view him as a kid in that moment. So the idea here is that Ymir wanted to be, I guess, free or come back to our reality, and she never got that with any of the inheritors of the founding titan. So she worked her way and executed her plan 100 years ago, making Karl Fritz do all that and build all those titans, and she waited patiently until she could find a founding titan holder that could do what she wanted, and that was Eren. So she messed up his mind since he was a little kid and gave him this sense of purpose, but at the end of the day, she's the one in control. The First Ackerman killed Ymir. I guess a lot of people don't take much notice on how things unveil, especially towards the end of chapter 122. That's my favorite chapter of Attack on Titan, even after almost a year that it came out. It gave us a lot of answers, but a lot more questions. The way Ymir went back to the king, accepted to keep being a slave, is very odd and suspicious. Her motivations to join them, pretty much build all that empire on her own, is never clear. But most of all, her death is very unnecessary and strange. I guess you could argue she was depressed and had no will to live anymore. So she took that spear and bled to death, without even trying a little regeneration. But what about the guy who threw that spear? Was he important to the story? Was just a random act and she took it as a way out? Or was him in on a plan? Or maybe he thought she went too far and wanted to end her since she was the source of all the Elden Empire's power. He probably died that day as well, and was probably eaten as well. Who knows? Maybe he was the devil or had something to do with that tree or that pond or that spiny thingy that is the source of Ymir's powers. Maybe he thought she wasn't using them for the right reasons and wanted her to go down. And when that happened, he got eaten as well. Probably by the Ackerman family members, who were the king's best, of course. Whoever is able to kill the Titan should be honored as feast to the king's best warriors. Maybe he died that day and his soul has been wandering through paths, possessing every Ackerman after to keep an eye on the founding and stop they when they go too far. There is no baby. This theory has been floating around before, mostly as a meme. But after Historia's phrasing of what if she had a child, it definitely got me thinking it would make sense to delay the higher up military guys' plans for her. I mean, she was the one who offered herself to become a Titan anyways, but I don't think she wants that short life after all. It makes sense she would make up appearances and help delay things so Eren could move on with his actual plan. So maybe there is no baby at all. Or maybe there is. Or maybe it's twins. I mean, Star Wars style. Or how about triplets? I mean, it would make sense to be the new versions of Maria, Rose and Sina. How about that? Yes, I know they are not triplets in the story. I know they're born in different days, but who knows? At this point, we had so many baby theories that it's just fun to try and predict that stuff regardless of what actually ends up happening. Now for family theories. There's so many, I'll just talk some major or funny ones. Annie is Kruger's granddaughter. The crazy theory rolling around was what if Annie was Kruger's daughter? Since we don't really know her parents, we only know the guy who adopted her, but it wouldn't fit very well since Kruger passed his power down a little over 20 years before the main storyline, so maybe I guess she could be his grandchild? People usually get that impression mainly because of appearances and personality similarities. I guess it's a bit fun to imagine those two being actually related somehow. Eren is Armin's uncle. This is my favorite of all, especially because it's not mine. So recently we noticed how Armin's eyebrows actually come from his mom's side of the family, so I guess, you can definitely see the resemblance, especially eyebrow-wise. I'm sure all blonde people in Attack on Titan are related in some way or another. Next, Hannes is Reiner's uncle. Okay, I'll just stop here. No, just kidding. Just one more. Because this is a classic one. Armin is a Tybur. There are a lot of reasons why this is a big theory in the fandom. The main one is, of course, all blondes look alike in the Shingeki universe, but mainly these two main blondes. Now, of course, the theory before was that Armin was related to Historia and the Fritz family somehow, especially because of how much he looks like Uri. But that has been disproven since nothing really happens when Eren and Armin touch. If he was a Fritz and Eren having the founding Titan, Sparkle should fly. And that being said, it's not like they have touched much. Things aren't the same as before. Let's just leave it at that. Even so, it would make more sense for Armin to be a part of the Tybur family instead. There are many reasons for that. First is how his Titan appearance resembles the Warhammer Titan a lot. Also, his family having that book about the outside world and knowledge about more advanced technology like planes, for instance. And the interest to leave the walls, probably knowing there was a lot more outside than just Titans. Also, it would make sense if some of the Tybur family moved into the walls, they would change their last name, just like the Fritz became the Reis family. At this point, we haven't got much of Armin's Titan form. He only showed up twice so far, and both times he was already steamed out, or close to it. I guess we are all hoping he has something extra that Isayama is hiding. We know Titan shifters from Titan families are more powerful than regular and only half Eldians. So the main theory here is that Armin is a Tybur and that gave him a different set of powers. I mean, we haven't seen shifters from Titan families inheriting Titans from other Titan families, only their own. So we have no idea what would that mean. We all know Armin has a plan, or that's what he keeps saying anyways. So maybe there is something that he can do against Eren, and he kept it a secret from everyone all these years. Maybe not everyone, maybe he even had contact secretly with Willy and his sister. We just don't know. Maybe that's the reason Eren ate her. It was just driving him crazy. At the end of the day, maybe those two should just talk.